Hello everyone, welcome to my presentation on how to get better sleep, evidence-based practice for sleep performance. Today in this presentations, we're gonna talk about what naturopathic medicine is, how it can help having better sleep, including lifestyle recommendation, dietary recommendation, other modalities including acupuncture, relaxation methods, and then supplements that can be beneficial. But just before we start, my name is Dr. Yousef. I'm a naturopathic doctor, and I'm also a resident at the Canadian College of Naturopathic Medicine, which I teach various courses and also supervise fourth-year interns. Also, remember that if you have any question throughout the presentation, put it in the chat box, and I will be present there to answer the question as well. Okay, so just a little bit about what naturopathic medicine is. In overall, naturopathic medicine focus on the root cause of disease or your concern, as opposed to just focusing on the symptoms. We, as a naturopathic doctor, have a holistic health focus when we approach concerns. That means that we look at the lifestyle, the diet, exercise, sleep and stress. Those are the fundamental of the health. And then based on those and your concern, will have like a focus recommendation. And then a lot of insurance does cover naturopathic medicine and naturopathic services, but it depends on the insurer, but there is some coverage for most insurance. The best way is to just call your insurance and find out what's the limit for naturopathic services. Again, so why sleep is important? One of the, I guess, fundamental of the health is sleep because it affects both physical, mental, and emotional well-being. So it's something that it's important in all aspects of our lives, and we should try to, I guess, optimize and make it better as much as we can. This presentation includes evidence practices. So I only looked at, I guess, diet, lifestyle, supplementation, other modalities such as acupuncture that have the most evidence. Obviously, you can find other modalities and other treatment that can help you sleep better, but I'm only going to talk about the most research and the most evidence. And then again, we already talked about this. So we have like a holistic lifestyle modification, meaning that we focus on stress, diet, exercise, um, and supplementation to helps you have like a better sleep. Okay, so just about a little bit about sleep stages. We do have three non-REM stage, which is non-rapid eye movement, and then we have one stage, which is a rapid eye movement sleep. Stage one is where there is a transition between awakening and like going to the sleep, but it's not deep sleep, and it's only for the first, I guess, like 20 to 30 minutes of the sleeps. And then stage two is where the deepening actually happens. And then last stage is stage three, where you are in deep sleep. In regards to our I guess, consideration and our recommendation for how to improve sleeps. We want to mainly focus on stage two and stage three. The reason behind that is because in stage two is where the muscle recovery and muscle healing happens. And then lastly, stage three is where it's for cognition and muscle memory and memory in overall. So those two stages are the stages that we want to focus in regards to both quantity and quality of the sleep. So um, recommendation would be to improve those two stage specifically. So I guess one of the things that are important in regards to sleep is the circadian rhythm, which is our internal biological clock, which influenced by hormone release, eating habits, and then consequently all of those will affect our sleeps and our digestion. One thing that is really important and can affect the circadian rhythm is lights or external light, specifically sunlight, but also like avoiding blue light specifically would affect our internal clock as well too. So a couple of tips that we can, I guess, optimize the circadian rhythms are exposure to natural light. The other one, having like a consistent sleep schedule, because when you know, when your body knows when is the time to wake up and when is the time to go to the bed, there is specific hormones that being released which help you to, I guess, like sleep. For example, if your body knows that your regular nighttime is sleep time is around 9, there will be more production of melatonin, which is a sleep hormone at that specific time, which helps you to sleep. And then another reason for that, we ask to avoid blue lights before we sleep at approximately 1 hour before, is because blue light like breaks down melatonin. And then obviously when there is when there is less melatonin in the circulation, it will be harder for you to fall asleep. We will talk about the circadian rhythm, I guess, in a couple more slides, but these are just the basic on how to improve or optimize circadian rhythm. So another things that is important for naturopathic medicine overall, but also specifically when we want to talk about sleep, is we do labs and testing to figure out what's causing the sleep issues. Um, as I said, like this is not specifically just about like sleep disorder, all the other conditions and all the other concerns that we are dealing with require some sort of testing. So this is really important to for us, just to give us some value on why the patient is experiencing the sleep disorder. In regards to the sleep, there are a couple of hormones that we want to specifically look for. So one is cortisol, the other one is DHEA, your thyroid hormone, which is like TSH, progesterone, estrogen. Those are mainly in premenopause women, and testosterone also can be affect sleeps. And then a couple of the nutritional deficiency can cause sleep disturbances. For example, magnesium and iron both can be cause like sleep disorder. As an example, when there is low level of iron, you get restless leg syndrome, which affects your sleep because you will wake up during the night, you have to move around your leg. So that's one of the examples. And then the other ones, magnesium is, again, this is maybe could be related to athlete population when they get cramps. That's one of the sign of the magnesium. And then sometimes the cramps can happen at night, and obviously if it happens, it affects your sleep. So yeah, a couple of the nutritional deficiency can disrupt your sleep. And then lastly, sleep study to just rule out sleep apnea, where people will wake up during the night and then grasping for air because they don't get enough oxygen during the night. So with this sleep study, we just want to rule out sleep apnea. Just going before I talk about the devices that you can I guess monitor your sleep cycles. Obviously, I don't have any affiliation with any of these devices, but these are the most that I think it would be beneficial for patients to use it. The first one is Aura Ring, which monitor all the stages that we did talk about. So mainly a stage 2 and stage 3, and like how, I guess, long you spend in each stage, which is important for us as we did talk about it. And then sleep on go to sleep is mainly just to checking for sleep apnea, because it only measures your oxygen saturation throughout the night, and you can see the level. If the levels are, I guess, like below 95, 96, you can say there's like a difficulty breathing. It's not a diagnostic devices, but still can show you and give you some valuable information on what happens when you sleep. Um, Obviously, if you do this sleep study and, for example, you do get diagnosis with sleep apnea, um, the device might not be as beneficial. But if you haven't done the test, it would be beneficial to still know your level, and then know what stage you are in, before you get the actual diagnosis for sleep apnea, which you have to do the sleep study. Just because this gives you information on stage 2 and stage 3, we can have more focused recommendations. So, for example, if it shows your stage 2 is okay, and your stage 3 is not, we will focus on more stage 3 in regards to our recommendation. So it would definitely give us some information and also the patient some information, and then it could be very valuable. Okay, so this slide, I'm just going to talk briefly about non-pharmacological recommendation for sleep optimization. So there's four categories of non-pharmacological recommendation. The first one is lifestyle modification, which we did talk about a little bit, like the sun exposure, avoiding blue light, having a fixed schedule for sleep are part of the lifestyle. Dietary recommendation, mainly just watching your, I guess, blood sugar level and like the amount of sugar you consume, because again, like if you do consume like too much sugar, for example, you might get that jittery sensation, and that might prevent you from falling asleep. Also, the opposite as well too. So if you have low blood sugar, if you're diabetics, you might wake up during the night and then feeling hungry. So dietary recommendation is just about, I guess, regulating your blood sugar and making sure either if it's too much, make sure it's controlled, or if it's too low, you have eaten something before bed, so you don't wake up during the night. And again, with that, the labs that we're recommending, it would include checking for your blood sugar, HbA1c, fasting blood glucose, just to make sure um, the blood sugar regulation is, I guess, at the good level, before before, I guess, recommending specific dietary recommendation for the sleep. And then light exposure, we did talk about, and then relaxation techniques. It could be meditation, it could be yoga. We have a specific training of the vagus nerve stimulation, which is involved for digest, digestion and rest overall. So when you do active the vagus nerve, it pretty much bring everything down. So it slows your digestion, bring your heart rate down, your blood pressure down, your respiration, and it pretty much prepare the environment for you to be relaxed. But yeah, those recommendations, specifically meditation, breathing, yoga, and vagus nerve stimulation, which there are different strategies for it, or could be used as a relaxation technique. Yeah, so again, I know I have talked about this a lot, but I think it's something that is very important, and sometimes we don't pay too much attention to it. Again, so sunlight can regulate the circadian rhythm, because when you do expose to light, that suppress melatonin, which is a sleep hormone. So when you do wake up during morning time, and then you get after, I usually recommend waking up, you get like 20 minutes to 30 minutes of sunlight, um, which helps to regulate or regulate your circadian rhythm, but it also suppresses melatonin, which is a sleep hormone. And then during the night, when sun goes down, your melatonin will produce more. So one of the factors that does affect the production of melatonin is sunlight. Using the sunlight to your advantage could be beneficial for the sleep as well too. Um, and then melatonin regulation, we did talk about it, and then vitamin D. The overall adequate level of vitamin D has shown to help with a lot of concerns, and one of them are sleep specifically. And then we know that we need sunlight as a key factor for vitamin D synthesis. So again, the sunlight exposure could be beneficial for that purpose specifically too. And then the practical tips, which I did covered, I usually recommend aim at least for 20 to 30 minutes of natural sunlight, especially in the morning after you wake up, to help you regularize the circadian rhythm. But I know we all have like busy schedule. We might not be able to, I guess, get out of the house before work to get sunlight. Another way that you can help is you can use bright light therapy. If you don't have access to sunlight or if it's hard to incorporate it, which are like devices just that emits white light. And then again, you can use that 20 to 30 minutes per day. It could be easier to incorporate it because you can, I guess, like just put it on your work desk and then just use it for 20, 30 minutes during the day at least. But again, everything natural is better. So if you can get the sunlight, the better will affect the sleep. Um, so another thing that is I usually recommend that is not a, I guess, like a supplement or dietary recommendations is pulse electromagnetic field therapy. Um, There are very good randomized controlled trial studies for using PMF, PEMF to help with sleeps. There are some other studies for reducing inflammation, reducing pain. Um, so it's something that is like easy to incorporate. It could be a little bit costly, and then you can I guess buy it on Amazon, and Earthing Canada, I think, has another good one of the PEMF which you can buy, but it has good research on improving sleep, reducing inflammation, reducing pain. And basically, the ion that is transferred through the mat through your body affects the electrical and chemical structure of the cells. And when there is a change in electrical and chemical change, it helps relaxing the body through producing specific hormones. Not melatonin specifically, but just other hormones that put the body into relaxation phase. And then it, again, you can use it 20 minutes to 30 minutes before bedtime. You can even sleep on it, but for the whole night, but it's advised to just use it 20 minutes, 30 minutes. You lay on it, and then after that, you can just go to the sleep. Um, this is another, I guess, recommendation that I usually like. I always was thinking about this picture. I was like, why do I guess like people or mothers wrap the babies like this, which makes sense now just because the deep pressure stimulation helps increasing serotonin and melatonin, reducing cortisol level, which all of those hormones help with um, better sleep, specifically melatonin. But serotonin also, which is like a happy hormones, can also help with the sleep and reducing cortisol as well. So you can get the weighted blankets now that are similar to, I guess, this picture. The only, I guess, like side notes is that obviously, if there are some people that are claustrophobic, it might not be something beneficial to use because it's really heavy and you might get that sensation. So yeah, just as long as you know that you're not claustrophobic to anything, it could be easily incorporated to your sleep routine. Um, and then cost-wise is not as expensive as the PMF that I represented in the previous slide, but something that can be easily incorporated into sleep routine. Okay. Next one is acupuncture for sleep optimization. There is a lot of studies on acupuncture and other concerns, including sleep, anxiety, pain management, and this is part of the traditional Chinese medicine. So acupuncture is a modality that is used by traditional Chinese medicine, but it has been shown to help sleep specifically. My personal experience with acupuncture is that patients usually see the benefit the night of receiving acupuncture. So the benefit might not last that long, usually 1 day, maximum 2 days after acupuncture. Um, but the research also shows that those that do see benefit from acupuncture for sleep for a longer time, they have to receive acupuncture at least 2 times per week. Obviously, again, um, work schedule, life schedule would not be able to allow us to do or to receive 2 sessions of acupuncture per week. But the minimum recommendation is once a week. So obviously, it does help with the sleep on the nights of receiving acupuncture and the day and after. So the more we can reduce the distance between the session, the better for sleep optimization and the more effect on sleep overall. But again, all of these, it depends if the patient is compliant with receiving acupuncture at least twice a week. But the minimum recommendation is once a week of 1 session per week. Okay. So these are my top supplement for sleep optimization. If you do look at, I guess, other supplements that can help with the sleep, you can find probably around 150 supplements for sleeps. But these are my top three, and I can say the most researched. Magnesium, I choose it for the reason that it used a lot in athletes, especially just because we did talk about when you do a lot of workout or do a lot of training, you do lose, I guess, electrolytes. And then through the diet, we don't get enough magnesium, so that the magnesium can be something to be used both in regards to the athlete's perspective of like muscle recovery, muscle soreness, muscle relaxation to prevent cramps, and also something that can also be beneficial for sleeps. But the mechanism of action works on GABA receptor, which is an inhibitory neurotransmitter. Again, meaning that it brings everything down. So slow down your respiration, slow down your blood pressure, slow down your heart rate, and then just create an environment uh, for relaxation or have like a better sleep. The second one we did talk about it is melatonin. Obviously, you can provide or I guess optimize melatonin level through the lifestyle recommendation that we did talk about, the light exposure, sunlight exposure, and then avoiding the blue light. But also you can take the supplements if you want to improve the level. Um, Again, it just increases the melatonin level in your bloodstream, which helps you to fall asleep better. And then lastly is the lavender, which is not I guess, like specifically sleep-inducing herb, but there's a lot of studies on lavender on anxiety and sleep. Just because if you are anxious, it will be harder for your sleep. And then that's something that can be used for reducing anxiety and then improving sleep as a consequence. But again, the lavender would be more recommendation for the people that have anxiety and sleep together, sleep issues together. But that's why I mentioned that the importance of the testing and doing like an initial visit would be valuable because it's there when we understand what's the cause of the sleep, and then we can have like a focus recommendation for sleep optimization. Because again, if the cause it's not due to anxiety, it might be better to take some other approach to help with this sleep. Um, yeah, so this is one a slide that focus on stress and cortisol managing cortisol regulation. So cortisol is a stress hormone, and then these three supplements specifically helps with cortisol regulation. So the first one, the phosphatidylserine and magnolia bark, specifically helps if you have too much cortisol. So it helps with breaking down cortisol. And then I'm talking about mainly high cortisol in the evening, because if you have high cortisol in the evening, it's harder for you to sleep. So it is important, again, to do the testing and do check the level of cortisol in the labs by doing the labs. So again, we can have more focused recommendation. And then ashwagandha, it's not really breaking down the cortisol, it's more for modulating and regulation of the cortisol. So this one I mainly use it if um, there is I guess like not enough cortisol in the morning and then a little bit high cortisol in the evening. So with this one, we can kind of like balance it in the morning and then reduce it in the evening, not necessarily just want to reduce it. The first one and the third one is just to reduce the cortisol level in the evening if it's high. So enhancing your sleep can enhance your life. And for me, I think the most important thing is to improve the quality of life by optimizing your sleep. Just going over the keynotes that we did discuss in this presentation, we did talk about how naturopathic medicine and what naturopathic medicine is and how it can help with sleep specifically, which includes lifestyle recommendation, dietary recommendation, different modalities, including acupuncture and supplementation to help with the sleeps. We did talk about how this is personalized because we do run blood work. I do run blood work with patients specifically to figure out what's the exact cause of the sleep disorder. And also, it's personalized in a way that the visits could be virtual. And then we will touch upon every 2 weeks, 3 weeks to see all the recommendation, how the recommendation working for the patient, and if there is any modification that we need to apply. And then from the diagnostic test to lifestyle modification, I provide comprehensive support to help you achieve better quality and quantity of the sleeps, which improve your overall well-being and quality of life. I do provide a 10 minutes consultation, which you can book both virtually and in person. So I'm available both in person and virtual. You can book it on with the website, which is included in this slide. I'm available Wednesday 3 to 8 p.m. and Sunday 9 to 2:30 every other week. Other area that I like to focus on are sports injury management and performance, pain management, digestive concern, weight loss, stress, anxiety, and other sleep disorder. Thank you all for attending my presentation. If you guys have still question about sleep or how naturopathic medicine can be beneficial for your concern, you can book a 10 minutes consultation and we will have further discussion.